The feminist revolution, which has been sweeping the world these last 150 years. The modern feminist revolution had its birth in an island which has expertise in spying and espionage, an island located about a month's journey by sea from the Arab world. An island from which came out a declaration in 1917 called the Balfour Declaration, which I mentioned in the last session, namely Britain. And from Britain, the feminist revolution went to the United States, and eventually we expect to see it move to Jerusalem. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, a day like a year, a day like a month, a day like a week. We say that this feminist revolution has Dajjal, as its author, its architect, its mastermind. Why? The Prophet said, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, that women would dress like men. And we have explained in our lectures on an Islamic response to the modern feminist revolution that the reason why women would dress like men is because they want to assume the functional role of men in society. You are familiar with these views already. Allah did not create men and women with an equal sign between them. That is a wholly inadequate equation. No. You don't put an equal sign between the day and the night, do you? No. Allah created the male and the female the way He created the day and the night. He says so in Surah Al-Layl. The day and the night complement each other. They're not equal to each other. That's foolishness. Yes, between men and women there is spiritual equality. Between men and women there is moral equality in relation to Allah. In relation to Allah. But in relation to each other is something far more beautiful than an equal sign. The day and the night complement each other. Without the night, the day is meaningless. It's inadequate. It's going to be destructive if we have only daylight, nothing. The night without the day is also inadequate. It is only when day and night combine together that we have a meaningful whole. There's something beautiful to behold. They complement each other. They're interconnected, interrelated. They can't do without each other, the day and the night. Similarly, the male and the female. So Islam doesn't put an equal sign between men and women. No, we present to the world something far more beautiful than that. We say that the male and the female are complementary to each other. They are interconnected, they are interdependent. The world of men cannot survive without women. The world of women cannot survive without men. The two need each other, male and the female. But when Allah created the day, He gave to the day certain functions. And when He created the night, He gave the night certain functions. And when the day fulfilled those functions, and the night fulfilled those functions, then when the two came together, it was a harmonious union. It made sense. وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَاسًا وَجَعَلْنَا النَّهَارَ مَعَاشًا, says Allah. We gave you the day for work and for toil, for struggle. And we gave you the night as something which covers and shrouds, something so mysterious, something so filled with splendor. Similarly with the men and the women. Allah gave to the man a biological constitution, a physical being, an emotional constitution for that physical being to pursue the functions of the day, to work and to toil, to be the person who goes out there into the dunya and struggles in the dunya. And Allah gave to the woman a biological being, a physiological being, an emotional being which is different from the man, because she has a different function to perform. And when she fulfills her function and he fulfills his function, only then can you come together in something called sukoon. There are things in life that money cannot buy. Although there are some bankers who will dispute that. And one of the things in life that money cannot buy is sukoon. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. That amongst his signs is this, that he's created for you from amongst your very beings, your mates, your spouses, that you might come together and dwell with each other in a state of sukoon, peace and contentment and tranquility. There are things in life which money cannot buy, and sukoon is one of them. One of the functions of Dajjal is to try to deceive you. And the last people he's going to target to deceive them are women. And the deception is so destructive, so dangerous, that if he succeeds, he's going to overturn the order that Allah created. So now a woman says, it is an act of oppression and injustice that I should be denied the freedom to do anything that a man does. So now you have to find something called I don't know whether you've heard about it in Cape Town. It's called a daycare center. And the baby is just 6 weeks, because that's all the leave you're going to get. And at the ripe old age of 6 weeks, the baby has to be put in the daycare center so mommy can go to work. You're going to have to answer to Allah on that day when the baby can speak and complain before Allah. Ask the baby, come on baby, tell me, you prefer the daycare center or mommy? And the baby will say to Allah, I wanted mommy, but mommy went to work. But Allah gave you a function to perform. He gave you a biological being, He gave you a physiological being. He gave you the capacity to produce food for that baby, the milk, the mother's milk. Men can't do that. He gave you an emotional being. No matter how much a man tries, he cannot have that quality of love for a baby that a woman has. So the baby bonds with mother. That's why mother has a status 3 times higher than her father. So now the daycare center takes over because mommy is a part-time mommy. The last people would be women, the last people to come out to Dajjal. But it's not just an overturn, an upside down world in the relationship between men and women in respect of their functions. It's more than that. And the impact on the economy, and the impact on the home and on the family, and the result of children growing up with an internal rage within them because of neglect that they suffered when growing up. Oh, daddy was busy and mommy was busy, and all that I had to comfort me was a television set. That's all. And then the television took over and brainwashed me. So an internal rage, and they gave expression to that internal rage with acts of violence. Random acts of violence. Have you ever read the stories coming out of American public schools? People are afraid to send their children to school now. Random acts of violence, senseless acts of violence, bullying in school and so on. Because these children are disoriented now. They're unbalanced. They're not normal children anymore. It's more than that. That's not our subject today. Our subject today is the other hadith. That women would be dressed and would yet be naked. That is the sexual